I want to make a teddy bear pendant. So the first step is to ensure that you create a base out of your either sub-D or poly surface, up to you, of the size that you need. So this is 38.1 mm that I have taken. If you observe, this is only a surface, no thickness currently to it. I want to ensure that I have minimum thickness to my final product. So here I have this sub-D mesh, sub-D object. I'm converting it to mesh. Regular convert to mesh. Let me hide the sub-D. You'll observe that because this has been created out of sub-D, the meshes have a distinct edge. So what I'm going to do in TiaraCAD is go to sculpting mode. Let me show this to you once more. I'm going into the sculpting mode. This will change the layout for sculpting. The first thing I'm going to do is to remesh this mesh. Why? It's going to cause uniformity in the entire mesh that will give me better sculpting options. So there we go. We have a better sculpting mesh now. Let's create a nice set of eyes for our pair of eyes for our teddy bear. So I'm going into the draw button, selecting my object. I can choose what material I want to see it in. So right now I'm going to stick to white clay. I can activate symmetry. Currently it's a standard brush, but we can choose which brush to play with. We also have the option of playing with strokes and the alpha. So for example, if I decide to go for a drag rectangle with an alpha of 17, let's increase the Z intensity and try it out. So there I got two eyes. Optionally, let's change our eyesight. See, you can play with it the way we want. Also, you can use the line fill to see how it's affecting your mesh. In case you want a finer output, you can always subdivide it further. Right now, I don't intend to increase the subdivision. Let's change the alpha at the most. So we can go for 2 eyes. Rotate it. Once you're satisfied, leave it. Then for the nose, I don't mind using this for the nose. I don't need the symmetry, so I'm going to turn it off. There we go. And something for the mouth. Let's just change our stroke and let me show you how we can play with the simple brushes as well. Let's go for a ridge. I can choose to add or subtract. So if I decide to subtract out here, you can see I can play with the size. This size that you can see is in mm. So you are in complete control of your brush. If I decide to go for a smoothing effect, you can see we can play with it the way we want. If you want to still check it once more, let's go to the perspective view to see it. If you think you want it deeper, you can work on it more. Let's also work on the hands. So I'm again going into symmetry and simple ridge where I want it to be subtracted. Same thing for the feet for the moment. In addition to these tools, we have mask regions, grouping regions, or even selecting regions. Masking ensures, let's keep some symmetry on, that this particular area will not be affected when your brush works on it. Grouping regions allows you to create an area on your mesh which you can then extract, mask or hide. You can even clear all. Likewise, there's also an option to select a region. So for example, let me remove the symmetry and let's say I want to work on a particular area of my mesh. So I can go into select region, work on it in detail, and then once work is completed, I can go back and say show all. So these are a few of the aspects of sculpting in TiaraCAD. Let us exit the sculpting mode to come back to our toolbox. Right now, if you look at it again, this is still just a mesh without a thickness. Because we can now give offset mesh a specific thickness. Before you do that, just a word of caution, ensure that you have checked the direction. If it's on the inside, you don't have to worry, else flip it. And then give your offset mesh. Let's say I want to give it a thickness of 0.35, enter. And you will see that you have complete control over the thickness of it as well. Just to show you, I'm going into clipping plane. Let's hide the original mesh. There are two meshes out here. One is the thickness and one is the original mesh. I'm hiding the original mesh here. Let's give a clipping plane to check. And you'll be able to see that we have uniform thickness throughout your mesh, giving you a control over the weight of your pendant in a much better way. Let me delete this. If I were to shift it, you have your metal. You can always add stones. It could be an automatic pave or it could be a singular placement of stone on the mesh.